Hello grade 6 learners. We are now here in the first module of the quarter 1, which is adding and subtracting fractions. So come on now, and by the way, I will be able to welcome you out this school year. So hope you like this. Hopefully you like this video as we go through. But before that, we're going to give credits to those people who have their power and knowledge for them to work out with this module. We have here the writers, the editors, the reviewers, illustrator, template developer, and the management team in our division. Module, we'll be dealing with adding and subtracting of a fraction, as I said a while ago. So, in which our main focus of this is, the main objective of this is how to add and subtract fraction, whether it is simple or mixed number, with or without regrouping. So let us try it first, how to deal with this first activity. The first activity is have a title of "Let Us Try." So here we have "Let Us Try." Now, accordingly, in this given instruction, we're going to find the LCD, or least common denominator, of the given following pairs of fraction. So we have here the number 1, the LCD is, the least common denominator of these two is 6. So in 5 over 6, we have here still the same with 6. And the other one is, let's say, we have now here, okay, for the 1/2, we have here equivalent to 6, as I said. Why it is 6? Because accordingly we are going to choose 6 here and 2 as our denominator. The common of the two is divisible. 6 is divisible by 6 as well as the 2. I will be explaining that one as we go through. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Here we have the least common denominator of this is 30. Okay. If you're going to ask me why is it 30, I will explain that one later on. Okay, this one is for 2/3. The other one is for 3/10. Okay, I will be able to slash it here. So we have now how to make it the 3/10 have 3/10 as equivalent to something like the denominator of 30. So we have here 30 divide by 10, and we have here 3, then followed by 3 times 3. Where can we get the 3 here? The value of our denominators, which is, so the product now is 9. So here we have 9. Then here in the other part, which is 2/3, so then again we have 30 divided by 3, that is 10. 10 times the old numerator, which is 2. Wait, I will be erasing the I am erasing the part here. So we have now 20. So the 2/3 is equivalent to 20 over 30. Okay, in the number 3 we have this one is divisible by what? 7 over 24, and the other one is 7 over 9. So we have here 24, then 9. Divisible by 3, this is 8, this is 3, so we have here 3. So we have here 8, we have here 1. Then we have here 8. So 24 times 3, that is 72. So the common that they have is 72. 72 divided by 24 is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 72 divided by 9, and that is 8. 8 times 7 is 56. So 7 over 24, which has an equivalent value of 21 over 72 when we have least common denominator of 72. And same as with 7 over 9 is we have 56 over 72, as I explained that one. Then a while ago. So here we have the 4/5. Take note, if we have more than one, the numerator, let's say 1/5, the grammar of that is 1/5, the correct word is 1/5. Then if it is 4 or more than 1, it is now read as 4/5 or 4 over 5. Then 3/4. So the LCD of this one now is 20. Both are 20. So 20 divided by 5. 4 times 4 is 16. We also have here 20 divided by 4. 5 times 3 is 15. So the 4/5 now is equivalent to 16 over 20, while 3/4 is equivalent to 15 over 20. Here we have this one here, the 15 and the 45. So this is divisible by 45. 20, still 20 over 45. Here we have 45. 40 divided by 15 is 3. 3 times 10 is 30. Okay? In the let us study part, we're just able to recall ourselves in how to simplify fractions or how to reduce them into lowest terms, or into lowest term rather. So let's say 8 over 40, 8 over 20. So we have here now, okay, let's collect the numerator, the number of numerator and denominator. We have here 8 and 20. So we have now, what are those numbers that is divisible by 8 and 20? The common number. So let's say 2. So we have here 4, because 8 divided by 2 is 4. I made use, by the way, a continuous division for us to identify how to reduce it. Continuous division. Okay. So 20 divided by 2, and that is 10. Then since it is still divisible, okay, let us collect. It is still divisible by 2, so we have here 2 here. 4 divided by 2 is 2 now, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then we could still collect another set of number aside from 1, since 2 and 5 is divisible by 1, but it's not. We could just neglect or ignore the 1 there. for us to be able to make use of the continuous division, we are going to find any numbers that is common divisor of the two set of numbers or two or more set of numbers. So we could now have here 2 here and another 2. So then multiply the 2 now, the two numbers rather. So we have here 2 times 2 and that is 4. So that is why 8 and 20 is divisible by 4. Therefore, the GCF is 4. So this is now what you call it, GCF of both numbers. I mean the numerator and the denominator. Okay. We have an advertisement of our dog here. Just ignore them as long as we have to continue further. So as you notice, we are going to multiply both numerator and denominator by 4 over 4. And we know the fact we could now allow that 4 over 4 there because it is still the same with 1. So any number, take note that 2 divided by 1 is still the same with 2. And then take note that like for example 5 divided by 5 here, the one there we converted or be changed by any number of any fractions. So if we have 2 divided by 5 by over 5, still the same with 2 because 5 over 5 is 1. So that is why any number being divided by 1 is still the number itself. So that is why we could now allow here dividing both numerator and denominator by 4 over 4 because the 4 over 4 there coming from the GCF that we have. So now as we go through, 8 divided by 4 from the numerator part is we have 2 as the quotient, and in the denominator part we have 20 divided by 4 and that is 5. So the lowest term now of 8 over 20 is 2/5 or 2 over 5. Okay, how about here as another set of given? So I want you to try everything about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So let's explain this further. So I made use of again the continuous division. I just select 5 and 20 from the given fraction, the numerator and denominator. So we have here 5 as the common divisor of the two numbers. So we have here 1 as 5 divided by 5. Then 20 divided by 5 is 4. So now it is now equivalent to 5 over 20. So we have now 5 over 5 because we only have here 5. If we have to continue further, then we have to make use of the multiplication as when whatever the product it is, that would be now the GCF. Since we don't have any number here attached to 5, so therefore we could say that the GCF now is 5. So as you notice here, we have now divided by 5 over 5 both numerator and denominator from the dividend that we have. So we have now 1 over 4. Yes, it's 1 over 4, the reduced part of 5 over 20. Then we have here 3/5, 3 over 15 rather. So as we reduce it, so this is divisible by 3. So now we have 5. Then we have now 3 divided by 3. Then 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So therefore we have now the GCF here is 3. So we have 3 over 15 divided by let's say 3 over 3. And so we have 1 over 5. Okay, I want you to observe further before we go further with 3, 4, and 5. I want you to observe further what does it in our continuous division process. How would you relate this answer here from our given answer? Same as here, the 1/5 that we have from the given continuous division. Okay, yes, it's correct that The 1 over 4 here is in the below part of our continuous division as our answer. The 1 here for the numerator and the 4 here for the denominator. So we have 1 and 4. Then we have now 1 over 4. And we have here 1 over 5. We have here 1 over 5. 1 and 5 here in the continuous division. Then we have 1 over 5. Okay? Take note with that. So now that's the shortcut way for us to do. Then how about for 18 for number 3, which is 18 over 36? Okay, what is the divisibility of this, the common divisor? Okay, the first thing that I think of it is 2. So this is 9 and this is 18. This is divisible by 9. Then we have here 1 and 2. So the GCF now is 2 times 9. The product of it is 18. So we now have 18 as the GCF. So what do you think now, the reduced part? Yes, that's correct. It's 1/2. Okay. Take note that 18 and 36 is half of... 36 is just half of 18. The half of it is 18. Then 12 and 36. So we have now here divisible by 6. So let's say 2, we have here 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Still the same, still working. We can still work it out, that 2 and 6. So we have here divisible by 2. So 1 here, and the other one is 3. So 6 times 2, that is 12. Cooking, for working for cake, the cookies, as well as the rice. So what operation that we need to have this? So in order for us to identify how many cups is we have to make use of the operation addition. Okay, how do we have water? So paano siya so paano siya magkaroon ng water? So in order for her to work it out, so she must be able to identify further the total number of cups of water for her to work it out, whatever the value, the sum of it. So as you notice, we have here 3/5. So to get the sum is we have here 3/5 plus 1/2 plus 2/3. So the common of the three is okay. The first part or the first method that we have is to make use of the multiples of 5, 2, and 3 and find the least common multiple. So from the 5, we have here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Then for the 2 is we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. So we have now common 30. And for the 3 is we have here 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. And we could still have, as we go through for this, is you have to continue for this, same as here. We could have another set of common multiples here, but we just only get the least number. So the least is 30. So now that the LCM for that is 30. So they use the LCM 30 as LCD in changing the dissimilar or similar fraction. Another advertisement, they could, okay. So we have here 30. Another thing to do that is we have another way how to make use of the other part is we have to make use of the continuous division in how to get the LCM. So since we could not previously we just only selecting the common divisor. Now I was still saying that we're going to make use of the common divisor first, then proceed to further as long as we could now provide 1 here as our work. Okay, what I have tried to spread out is that we don't have any common divisor aside from 1, so we just only select among the 3 there. So we have here 5. I just select 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we don't have any more the problem here because our target here is 1. 2 divided by 5 cannot be, so I just make use of to copy that 1. 3 divided by 5 as long. So we cannot provide a common divisor. Take note again, if we make use of the common continuous division, just do first the common divisor. Okay, 2 divided by, so we don't have any more, so another 1, 2 and 3. So our target is to make it here all the part here must be 1. So I just get the 2. So 1 divided by 2 is cannot be, so I just copy. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 2 is 3. Then we have 3. So 1, 1, 1. So now we could now get here 1. Since we cannot get the target as 1, 1, 1 here, so the next thing that we should do in order for us to get the LCM, the least common denominator multiple, or the LCD, to get the LCD, so multiply 5, the 2, and the 3 from this portion here. So the product now 5 times 2 is 10 times 3 is 30. So that is now the other way around to get the LCM for us to get the LCD. So the LCD now, the least common denominator, 10 times 2, and we have the old numerator, so we have here 20, so that's why this is 20, so that is why this one, the new numerator that we have now is 20. So as you can see, the explanation of this, the 3/5 is 18/30, then the 1/2 is 15/30, then the 2/3 is 20/30. Then in working with the additional fraction, we could just only add the fraction provided that they have the same denominator. If they don't have the same denominator, let's try 3/5, 1/2, and 2/3, then that one is this one is what we call the similar fraction. Make it similar. How to make it similar is to get the LCD by merely looking for the LCM as we do part a while ago. So since now they have the same denominator, so we could now add the numerator. We could now allow it here. Okay? Take note that in addition of fraction, A over B is plus C over B is equal to A plus C all over B. So meaning to say we could just add the numerator and copy the denominator. That is the pattern for us to do with the subtraction of fraction. So that is why we just add 18 and 15 and 20. So 18 plus 15 is 33 plus 20, and that is 53. So we have now 53 over 30, copy the denominator. So the answer now is 53 over 30. Or since we have now improper fraction about 53 over 30, so make it mixed fraction. So how to get this one as mixed fraction? So we have now divide 53 to 30. So 53 divided by 30, and that is 1. 1 times 30, and that is 30. Subtract 30 from 53, so we have here 3. Then we have 2. So we have now 23 is less than 30 as our denominator or our divisor. So therefore we could now have quotient 1. Then the remainder is 23 over 30. So the mixed fraction now is 1 and 2, 23 over 30. Okay? So let's proceed now to example number 2 that talks about how to subtract similar fraction without regrouping. So, but before we go further to that, let us recall ourselves in how to subtract fractions. So let's proceed. Let's say A plus B subtracted to C over B is just the same with A minus C all over B. It means that we're going to add fractions if they have the same denominator. Okay, question. What if the denominator is not the same? So still the same what we have done in the addition, that we're going to find the LCD by merely, or the least common denominator, but gonna take first the LCM for us to be able to get the LCD. Okay, so we have here 5 and 6 over 7 subtracted to 1/2 is equal to n. So the first thing that we should do for this is, so we could not add the said fraction because the given is they don't have the same denominator. So what we will do now here is to get the LCM. So the LCM for this is, we are going to have that as 7, 2. So using the continuous division, so we have here 7 divided by 7, that is 1. 2 divided by 7 is cannot be. then we have 2 here, so 1 divided by 2 still what we have done here is to make it 1 1 in the lower part. So if it is not divisible, then you just copy all the way. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so the LCM is, we have 7 times 2 times 2 here equals 14. So that is why we have here 14 as the LCD. So as you notice, we have here 14 14. Then how it make it to become 12 and 7? So let's start. The process is still the same with what we have done in the addition. First thing we should do is that we're going to divide 14 to 7, the old denominator, which is, so it has a quotient now of 2, then 2 times 6 followed by 2 times 6, and that is 12. So that is why the new numerator now is 12. This one here. Okay, then followed after the next part, or the subtrahend. In the subtrahend part, so the old denominator is 2, so the new denominator is 14. So our target is, we could just subtract the fraction provided that we have the same denominator. So what we have now here is 14 divided by 2, still the same what we have done previously. Where can we get the 2 here is the old denominator. So the answer now is 7. Then 7 times 1. The quotient must be multiplied to the old numerator. So the result is still the same with 7. So that is why we have now 7. Okay. So after which is we're going to subtract the fraction. So here we have the whole number part here is we don't have, so we could just have here 5. 5 minus 0 is 5. That one there. 12 minus 7 is 5. And copy the denominator. So that is the process in working out with the fraction, in adding or subtracting fraction. So the result now here is 5 and 5 over 14. So that is how we cater with example number 2. So let's recap first what we have done here, the procedure of it. So the first thing is that change the similar fraction to make it similar by merely looking for the LCD, then dividing the denominators and multiplying the quotient to the numerator. So as what we have done here, then copy the whole number. Then after which is we're going to subtract the numerators of both terms in the subtraction and whole numbers. Then copy or retain the denominator, just copy the denominator that we have. So that's it. Okay, so let's proceed to another set of example, which is subtracting decimal with regrouping. Previously we just using the without regrouping. That here now in the example number 2 is how do we able to subtract certain fractions with respect to dissimilar fractions with regroup, how to work it out by the regrouping. So then again, the given problem, so let's proceed now. So 6 and 1/3 subtracted to 1 and 3/4. So the minuend that we have is 6 and 1/3, while the subtrahend that we have is 1 and 3/4. So the first thing we should do here is we're looking for the LCM. So 3, 4. So we now have 3 divided by 3, that is 1. 4 divided by 3 cannot be, just copy it here 4. Then I just copy the 4 here from here and put it here in this part here, the left side part. Then 1 divided by 4 cannot be, So just copy 4 divided by 4, and that is 1. So we now have the continuous division 1 1. So the LCM now is 3 times 4, and that is 12. So that is why we have now 12 as our new denominator in both terms of the subtraction. Okay, so we now have 12. So then copy the 6 and 1 as our whole number. Then how to make it 4 and 9, or just we say the new numerator that we have, since we now have new denominator by means of getting the LCD from the LCM that we have. So now here to get the new numerator is we have to do the process as what we have done previously. So we have 12 divided by, so the new denominator divided by the previous denominator, and that is equal to 4. Then 4 times 1, the old numerator, and we have here 4 on the other, so that is why it became 4. Then we have another one in the subtrahend part, is we have 12 divided by 4, the old denominator. We have here 3. Then 3 times 3, the old numerator, and we have here 9. So that is why it became 9. So what do you observe here is, as we go through with the analysis of this kind of situation, we now have 4 here and the 9 here. So in the basic fundamental operation, when we have subtraction, bigger value minus the smaller value, since in this location, in this part, what we have what we have the given here is the lower value number subtracted to the bigger value. So how do we cater this kind of situation? So what we have now here is from the given that we have, there is minus sign here. Okay, so we just break the 6 here as our whole number. So we have here, there is a minus sign here, so this must be 5. So plus 1 and 4 over 12 subtracted to 1 and 9 over 12. So then in this case is we have here, to get part of this is we have 12 divided by 1, 12 times 1, to make this one here, this part here, make this one as improper fraction by means of 12 times 1 is 12 plus 4 is 16. So we now have 16 over 12. So in this case, and we have here 5. So the other one is we have 5. So therefore we now have 5 and 16 over 12 as our new mix one. Okay, again I repeat, we now have here, where can we get this one here? By merely separating the 5 and the 1, because 5 plus 1 is 6, subtracted to 1 and 9 over 12. So then now whole number subtracted to whole number, so 5 minus 1 is 4. Then 16 minus 9, we have here 7. Then copy the denominator. Why do we use this process, this part here? Because from the previous one we have 4 and 9. Since 4 is less than 9, you cannot go further with the subtraction. It should have be a certain number in the minuend part must be greater value than the subtrahend part. So that is why we do further process here. So we now have the answer as 4 and 7/12. Okay, so the procedure that we have is we're going to recap everything in this example. So change the similar to similar fraction by merely looking for the LCD from the LCM. Copy the whole numbers, so we have copied already the whole numbers previously. Then subtract the numerators and whole numbers, but since 4 is less 4 is less 9, so we have now, you cannot subtract further the numerators even though that we have the same denominator already. Then so that is why we have to regroup the whole number from breaking up from 6 to make it 5 plus 1. So we have that. Then the other one should have made use of the improper. Okay, so as you can see here, we have now 7/12. Okay, from here, so we now have again 2 and 3/8 plus 1 and plus 1/8 is equal to 2 and 4/8. So since this one is our answer from the sum from the given, and take note that we could not give the final result not unless it should be simplified or reduced, make it that one into lowest term. So take note that 4/8 is divisible by 4, so we are going to reduce that one to lowest term. So by dividing both numerator and denominator by 4, so 4 divided by 4, 1, 8 divided by 4 is 2, so that is why it became 2 and 1/2. That would be the other thing that we should understand and we should put into our mind, that whenever we have to make or we have to do further in the fraction, all we have to do is to reduce the lowest term as to get the final result. Then we now have 9 and 5/6 subtracted to 4/6. So we could now have 5 minus 4, 1, didn't copy the 6. Okay? Okay, another set of example given here. So 7 and 2/3 plus 3/4. So we now have already there. So 3 and 4. So the same thing what we have done last time. So 2/3 plus 3/4, and that is 17. Okay, we have here 3 and 4. So we cannot add the 2 because they don't have the same denominator. So what we will do is to get the LCD. So the LCD previously is 12 when we have 3 and 4 as our denominator. So 12 divided by 3, 4 times 2 is 8. Then 12 divided by 4, 3 times 3, 9. Then as we add the 2 here, we have 8/12 plus 9/12 by means of changing 2/3 to other fraction that the same target that we have, having a similar same denominator. So 8 plus 9 is 17, then over 12, or simply as 17 divided by 12. So we have here our result as 17/12. So how to simplify this one or change this one into from improper to mixed fraction by dividing 17 to 12. So we have here 17 divided by 12, and that is 1. 1 times 12, and that is 12, and we now have 17 minus 12 is 5. So the whole numerator, then the quotient that we have is our whole number. The remainder, which is 5, would be our numerator, and the divisor that we have is our denominator. So that is why we have now 1 and 5 over 12 as the result. So therefore now, since we have whole number from the original problem, which is 1 here, and we just only allowing or performing that the fractions that we have. So we now have 17 over 12. Then that one there, the simplified one is, which is 1 and 5 over 12. So we now have here 7. So 1 plus 7, and that is 8. Then copy 5 over 12. So that is why now we have our final result as 8 and 5 over 12. So let's proceed now to the other part, which is 3/5 plus 5 over 9 plus 2/3 is equal to, what is the value of that? So the first thing that we should do is that we could not add or even subtract something here, or any other example with the adding or subtraction of the certain fraction once they don't have the same denominator. So what we'll do is get the LCD by first working with the LCM. So I just collect all the denominators. So we have here 5, then the other one is 9, the other one is 3. So among them is, I just select 5. So 5 divided by 5, because they don't have the common divisor. So 1, 9, 3, because 5 divided by 5 is 1. 9 divided by 5, since we cannot get the whole number result, so just copy. 3 divided by 5 is 3. Then we have here 3, because 9 and 3 is divisible by 3. 1 cannot be. 9 divided by 3 is 3, then 1. Then we now have here another set 3. 1 divided by 3, 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 divided by 3 is 1. So we now have 5, 3, and 3 in this part. So we're just able to multiply them all. So the product is 5 times 3 is 15, times 3 is 45. So that is why now we have an LCD of 45. Okay? Now, how to get the new denominator? A new numerator rather. So we have here 45 divided by 5, and that is 45 divided by 5, and that is 9. Then 9 times 3 is 27. So that is why we have 27. Then another thing is we have 45 divided by 9. In the second term that we have is we have here 5. Then 5 times the old numerator, which is 5, and that is 25. So that is why it became 25. The other one is 45. The last term that we have is 45 divided by 3, which is 15. Then 15 times 2, and that is 30. So that is why we have here 30. So after it, since they have the same denominator already, so we are going to add further the numerator. So 27 plus 25 is, we have here 2 carry 1, 52 plus 30 that is why we come up with 82. Then take note that we have an improper, so we have to change that one into mix. So 82 divided by 45. So we have here 45. I have 80 divided by 45 is 1. So 45. So 1 times 45 is 45. So 12 minus 5 is 82 minus 45. So 2 minus 5 cannot be. So just spiral. Here becomes 7. Then this one becomes 12. 12 minus 5 and that is 7. 7 minus 4 and that is 3. So the quotient which is 1, the remainder which is 37, that one would be our numerator, and the denominator that we have is our divisor. So the result of this now is 1 and 3 over 45. So let us have another set of example. The last part is 5 and 7, 6 over 7 subtracted to 1/2. So therefore, I think since this one 7 and 2 is prime number, so we now have 7 times 2 and that is 14. So we now have 14. So as our LCM, if you want to check further, just go with the continuous division. Okay, to get the how to get the 12. So 14 divided by 7, that is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 14 divided by 2 is 7, times 1 is 7. So we have now 7 over 14 is just the same with 1/2. 12 over 14 is just the same with 6 over 7. So that would be our new fraction from the previous one, because they don't have the same fraction. Take note that we could just able to subtract fraction provided that they have, okay, sorry, this must be B, okay, provided that they have the same denominator. So A over C, A minus C all over B. So let's recap. So we have now 12 over 14 minus 7 over 14, and that is 14. Then as the result, since we have 5 here as our numerator, 5 minus 0, because in the minuend part we don't have a whole number here, so the answer to that one is 0. So 5 minus 0 is 5. So that is why the result that we have now is 5 and 5 over 14. Okay, so we have here another set of exercises. I will leave that one to you, because for you to learn, to enhance your knowledge in mathematics. And if you want to know further about this one, I will be able to make a set of another video lesson for this, for you to compare further about your work. Take note that I will leave this one to you first before we have to compare our answer. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share my channel, which is Humble Math Easy channel, both Facebook and in the YouTube, for your enhancement and for enhancement in mathematics, and for the further for the future or further work in mathematics. Okay, and we also have here another set of practice more in solving that one. And don't forget, I already discussed the set of explanation on different examples, so don't forget to try also within yourself. And take note that if there's no harm in trying, and if you get mistake, then don't you worry. We are here just to help you out, as long as you've been trying to work it out, because the best way for you to have some success in understanding, especially in mathematics, is for you to try, no matter what. As long as you will be the one who answered it. Okay, now let us remember our working here. So in adding and subtracting simple fractions and mixed fractions with or without regrouping, change first the similar fractions or mixed fractions into similar fractions, because that's the rule in adding or subtracting fractions. Perform the addition and subtraction of similar and mixed fractions when we have similar one. Then from working with the LCM, getting the LCM so that we could get the least common denominator. LCM means least common multiple. If the numerator of the minuend is less than the subtrahend, regroup the whole number and form the one into improper fractions. Then add the whole number, the improper fraction or the renamed one, and the minuend. Then after that, you're going to perform subtraction of similar fractions. Express the answer in lowest term. Okay, I will just also leave this one. Then again, I will give this exam video understanding or lesson. Just try to work it out. I will leave that one in my description box for you to click that one to have the enhancement of it and comparing with our answer. So let us enhance and then let us reflect. Okay, same as with let us reflect. Okay, then everything that you have been through, if you're working on it, there is some sort of given answer. And then I don't know, don't you worry if you have some comment, give some comments further so that we could help you out in terms of your clarity in this discussion. Okay, so goodbye for now, and let's proceed to become a better person by merely analyzing, working, and trying your best. Okay, see you then for the next video. Goodbye.